I'm juggling a lot right now. It's a busy time of year, and I'm preparing for Art Miami Week. Is that what they call it? They don't want you to call it Basel. They don't want you. It's like how many different names can we have for art fairs down in Miami? So I'm getting ready for that and my holiday release, and then I have my gallery here in SoHo, and I've got employees texting me, and it's mayhem, but I love it.
You said earlier that you feel a little bit more of a CEO than an artist these days. That bothers you a little bit, or not really?
No, 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 it doesn't bother me because I don't work with galleries and I don't have to give up 50%. So I feel good about it. But at the end of the day, all I want to do is make artwork. So sometimes, when you've got to do business and you've got responsibilities, I've got to handle these things and then hit the studio. So soon enough.
Well, it's been a big year for you moving to New York with the gallery and the showroom there. How's that coming along?
I mean, listen, this is the greatest city in the world, in my opinion. Most certainly in the United States. It is the conduit to the rest of the world. It is such a battery of energy. And I'm a very ambitious person. So this is a city that it feeds my creative weirdness. It gives me everything I need with theater and art, but it also gives me tons of opportunity. So, I mean, I love it. I've never been more inspired or excited in my life.
Was that kind of part of the plan eventually when you started in New Orleans? You said one day I want to end up having the gallery in New York, and that's where I'm going to be operating from.
I think out of a 30-year career, what artist doesn't want to be in New York?
Mhm.
I think I've been very patient with myself, and I've had a very kind inner monologue as to the amount of time that it would take me to be able to get here and do it the way that I wanted to. Also, I love New Orleans very, very much. I mean, that having my base in that city while I was marketing and having shows in very entrepreneurial cities, which artists have to do because we want people to buy our artwork. Uh, it was really the perfect place for me. New Orleans is just a city where you go there to lose your inhibitions. I certainly wouldn't say that it's the most ambitious city in the world. So, it was time for me to get up here, and I love it.
You said that you were very patient with yourself and inner monologue. Can you give me a little bit of an example? What was that like?
Well, I mean, I think for every artist, and I'm speaking for myself. When you're a creative person and you're making paintings or sculptures, there's a certain amount of instant gratification involved in that. And even if it takes you an hour to create your work or it takes you 6 months, you do have to have a certain amount of patience with yourself for the process, for visualizing it perfectly. I like to carry that practice into other things in my life. So, again, instant gratification will get you pregnant, it will get you high, it will get you drunk. With art and most other things in life, we have to be patient. Also, I don't have investors. My daddy didn't write me a check, and I didn't marry a rich man. I mean, in order for me to have a 3-story gallery in SoHo, I've had to work for 30 years. 30 years and 10 months it took me to get to the point where I could open up this gallery.
The patient thing, that aspect, is that something that you always understood what it means to you in terms of the big scale, what it was going to look like, or something that throughout the 30 years you start acquiring a little bit more and understanding that you needed to learn that, personality trait to be able to accomplish what you want?
I think it's a slow roll of knowing where your long-term goals are, but really celebrating anything awesome that happens in a day. So for me, if I emailed 10 people about a painting and one person emailed me back and they were like, "Ooh, I like it." I would be like, "Yes, I got somebody to email me back. This is so great. There's a chance they might buy it. Hell yes." And then I would take that energy, go get on my easel, start another painting, and like roll with that. I think it's all those little energies that add up that hopefully get you to that ultimate goal. Which, look, I mean, if you're successful at all in whatever that means, which is success is so subjective. you just keep, that keeps changing throughout your entire career, what that means to you as you hit your goals, as you have enough money to travel and go see the things in the world, when you set a painting goal for yourself, or you want to be in a certain gallery or an art fair. You do that, and then it's on to the next. If you're beating yourself up and you have a negative inner monologue, you're really going to be screwed. We have to be our own best cheerleaders as artists. And I too think that artists should not be ashamed to want to say that they want to be financially successful. Having the money to make the biggest sculpture that you've ever thought of, or the largest art installation that you've ever dreamed of, or to have a studio, in Italy for 6 months and to go explore. I just believe that artists should be unapologetically excited to be successful, not only in their art but financially as well.
I'm sure you hear this all the time, but you come across a very confident person, and I'm sure you are it as well. But a lot of the times,
Have
confidence
you met
has.
the art world, Yuri? If I'm not
I,
confident, do you know what the fuck is going to happen to me?
I know you're gonna be chewed alive,
Are
but
you
listen.
kidding me? If I don't know who I am and I'm not confident, and my metaphorical isn't bigger than the people and the patriarchy that I'm fighting in the art world, then I'll never fucking make it. So
And
yeah,
that,
I'm
yeah,
confident.
and that's amazing. And that's the story behind, because a lot of times there's a story behind all of that. So I'm interested to know, there was a time that you felt, like invisible or underestimated, that you had to kind of overcome that situation.
Well, yeah. I'm undervalued every day. Every single day, I'm undervalued as an artist, as a female artist, as a business owner. If I don't have that inner voice inside of me that says, even if they undervalue me, I'm going to be okay. Even if I don't sell any art this week, I'm going to figure out how to make sure I can pay this rent. Having that, that little engine that could optimism, it's the thing that's kept me going, because look, it is tough out there. It's very tough out there. And the most important thing as an artist, which I learned, very young in my career, is, who my audience is. Who are the people that relate to me? Who understands my artwork? Who has a sense of humor? Who likes to have fun? Who believes in joy? A lot of that, those are ideals that the fine art world, they really undervalue. For me, I'm selling my spirit. And my spirit is joy and optimism. So if I get off the rails of that, then I'm just full of shit. And I don't want to be like that, Yuri.
Have you always been that way in terms as a child as well? This very energetic, upfront kid, or something else throughout, life comes along and you develop this sort of a personality?
Yeah, look, I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, the most conservative little place. I was raised to never disagree with a man, to never raise my voice, to bat my eyes and smile if I didn't like something. God forbid you're chubby, you better be skinny, you better marry a rich, good looking man and have pretty children and a big, gorgeous house. All of that just felt like horseshit to me at a very young age. I was different. I was very enthusiastic, but I just kind of felt like I wanted more in the world, and I don't know why I wanted that. I think we're all just kind of born, because sometimes just the way that we are. And I was born an artist. I just didn't know it until I was around 18.
Did you have any support, or at least people encouraging you to pursue that career when you were a teenager, or was
Uh,
very much a.
my father, who is my biggest, fan, 100% now. He's so proud. I think he was very nervous about the idea of me being an artist and not being able to take care of myself. Fear, makes you want to slide into very comfortable things. So I think he thought, yeah, do your art, but go marry a rich husband. Um, but that being said, the biggest supporter that I've had in my life has been me. If I don't believe in me, then how will I believe in you? If I don't know who I am, how do I have the space in my heart to have understanding and love who you are and our differences, and really appreciate that? There just really is no room for that self doubt or fear. Of course, there's always that constant exploration of what brings me joy, what brings me peace, in this ever evolving madness that we're all living in. But for me, being at my easel and painting, that's where I find that making art grounds me.
Outside making art, what are the other things that you find yourself maybe reflecting, being able to really, go deeper and thinking about things that are important to you? As you mentioned before, success can vary, things that are important for your life. What are the things you're looking for? There's anything outside painting that gets you in that mindset?
Oh my God, yes, theater. I love theater. I love Broadway so much, and it's a huge part of why I moved my company up here. Being able to go see Broadway on any day of the week is just it's such an honor to see that performance that is so special that also will not last forever. You really have to soak in the moment of that. I love the theater. I love to cook. I love nature. I play the guitar a little bit. I love insects and bugs at my farm. I like to raise butterflies. I love swallowtail butterflies, so that's really fun. But I think my greatest joy probably comes from either being in a seat in a theater or being outside in nature or at my easel. But other than my easel,
Your work uses a lot of humor as a way to address some serious issue as well.
uh huh.
Do you think humor has its limitation as a tool for cultural critique?
Does humor have limitations as far as a cultural critique? That is a very subjective question. That is a very subjective question. For me, I think I deal with the need for the constant consumerism, the overwhelming tsunami of patriarchal bullshit through humor. The way that I get even with that is I find humor in it, I sell it, I get paid, I get to take care of my employees, and I get to keep making art in the greatest city in the world.
You're saying about the culture, the commerce of between art and what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of times people that blends a lot of between luxury fashion and pop culture in art. Do you see there's a line between art and commerce, or is that line itself just an illusion?
Well, first of all, if we start talking about the boundaries of what art is and what art isn't, then we're totally screwed, Yuri.
Mhm.
There is no explanation of exactly what art is or what art isn't. For me, self expression and using brands and things that are I'm surrounded by and the familiar nature of those things, it feels safe and it's an exploration of my own role in society of the type of woman that I want to be. And yeah, I mean, I might poke humor at that. I might unleash a string of expletives. I might paint a beautiful painting and use elements of nature. These are all different worlds that I want to live in. If we start to really needle what art is, I mean, the answer is art is anything. Art is everything. You just look around and there's artfulness all around us. So there's really no boundaries on them.
So, do you believe there is a space for such a thing as a art critic, for example, if we're going down to discussing about what art really
I
means?
mean, look, here's the thing. Of course, there's always going to be critics. And I mean, now with social media, everybody's a critic. For me personally, I cannot imagine anything worse than tearing into a creative person who has been brave enough to express themselves. Maybe they're just beginning their I hate this word, but their journey as an artist of putting themselves out there. Maybe they're not completely self-actualized yet. Maybe they need 20 years of painting. Maybe they need, to work on their technique, but like who am I to judge that? I don't feel that I don't know. It just puts a bad taste in my mouth. I think there's room to say this art doesn't appeal to me personally because at the end of the day, the people that respond to my artwork, there's a likeness, a magnetism in our life force. I'm not gonna respond to every piece of art that I see. I'm certainly not gonna want to live with every piece of art that I see. But I'm also not a negative person. Not to say that all critics are negative, but aren't they? It's kind of like a perfectionist. They never focus on what's right, they only focus on what's wrong, and it's just not how my brain works.
There is a fearless quality of your work, but what about vulnerability? Are there elements of vulnerability in your art that people might not see on the surface?
Sure. I mean, look, I'm always painting very different collections. I just did a series called "It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings." Like, just because I'm thinking about this election, I'm thinking about like that expression culturally. I think is really funny, and I got really tickled one day thinking about, oh Lord, I can hear her in the distance warming up. You know, the fat lady's always there, but it's also a statement about how maybe the fashion world sees that there should only be a certain size of what a woman should be or a man. It's I like to give the middle finger to a lot of the boundaries that media is putting on me as a woman, as a self-represented artist, as a business person. I mean, I feel like that's my job.
Do you feel perhaps those boundaries are getting they're getting better in terms of more acceptable people being able to be more open-minded to those ideas and forget about those boundaries, or they're just here in different shape form that we're just used to and accustomed to it?
Well, I mean, they are actively taking away women's rights. Is it getting better? No, I don't think so. I think that it's a good time to have a conversation about being financially independent. And I think at the end of the day, in this country, family is not the most important thing, religion is not the most important thing. It is the idea that you could start a business and make as much money as you possibly want to. The sky is the limit in America for that. You might as well lean into it. For me, freedom is financial independence. I can help who I want. I can buy what I want. I can love who I want. I can live where I want. That is, for me, the dream. My art explores that. And at the end of the day, if I'm representing myself and I'm financially independent, I can do what the fuck I want and nobody has control over me. And all I want to do is make art. I want to have a company and I want to make art. So that's what I'm going to do.
What was like working for you? I mean, I'm sure you keep a team that to get in the inner circle must be very challenging. You got to make sure they have a certain personality and skills when you're looking to bring people on board to collaborate or even working for you. What are some of the things that you're looking for?
Absolutely, ambition, work ethic. I mean, these are things that I have that are my best qualities for sure. Ambitious, enthusiastic, gratitude. Also, vulnerability is really important. The majority of my team, they're very creative, artful, ambitious people. They're lovely. They definitely feel like family to me. And I think when they hear me standing up for myself when I'm on the phone with somebody at $1 billion corporation that wants me to work for exposure, and they hear me stand up for myself and tell them to go fuck themselves because there's enough brownie in the pan for everybody, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, there's a certain amount of respect for them to see the ass whooping I take every day and how I wake up every morning with a smile on my face, ready to go again. They're an extraordinary group of people. We work hard, we play hard, we have fun, we laugh our asses off. It's an honor to work.
It's an honor to work. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Do you feel the responsibility? I'm sorry for your staff, of course, but also to be this person that people see you and project as someone who's outspoken, someone who's very confident, someone who's fighting for themselves. And I don't want to say role model because these days people really can, overlook that voice. But to
I
be
ain't
able to,
trying to be a role model.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Nobody really wants to be a role model, but do you feel like that you need to be true not only to yourself to make sure there's people looking at you that want to follow your footsteps?
I mean, I have a lot of artists and a lot of people that come in the gallery, mostly women, that they thank me for putting myself out there, for being vulnerable, for talking about my body, for saying, come on, ladies, make your own money. You don't have to suck a dick to buy a handbag. You know, you don't have to put your hand out to your daddy to get a check. You have the opportunity to be financially independent. If that is inspiring to someone, then I will be their biggest cheerleader. Because I really, really believe in those things. I believe that women should be financially independent. I believe everybody should. But look, this is not easy. And is it exhausting? Yes. I mean, the other day I was in tears. I'm at my apartment right now, and my gallery is half a block away. In tears, just like stressed out, time management, all this stuff that I've got going on, getting ready for this big art fair. then I go over to the gallery and there's, I had some fans in there and they're excited to see me. And I mean, I want to show them the strong me. So, I'm smiling and I'm hugging them, and it made me feel better. It got me out of that little mode that I was in. But yeah, I mean, this is not easy. Nobody said this was going to be easy. It's hard to be an artist. It's hard to put your art out there. It's hard to put your heart out there. And sometimes it's hard to wake up every morning and, put on your big girl panties and, fight the demons.
But you gotta do it anyway. It's you.
Hell yes, I'm gonna do it. Hell yes, I've got more kick than an old mule. I'm not gonna stop. I mean, I can't stop, and that's the thing about when you're creative and when you're an artist. I'll be doing this till there's no longer breath in my body. I hope I die with a paintbrush in my hand. I mean, like this is this. I don't have a choice. I'll go nuts if I'm not making art. It's the most important thing. It's my job. It's why I was born.
When I talk to a lot of young people, everybody's looking for a breakthrough or that opportunity. Somebody must be giving me an opportunity so I can show what I'm capable of, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really come for a lot of people. And if we do come, doesn't mean that's everything will goes perfect from now on. For you, did you have a breakthrough? Did you have that? Or was it just a matter of you just grinding one day at a time, climbing that mountain to where you are
Grinding
today?
for sure. Grinding, climbing the mountain, but also stopping on the mountain to look at the ferns, to look at the little birds, to sit on a rock, catch my breath. That's really, really, really important. Have I had, yes, I mean, I've been given extraordinary opportunities in my career. I've made incredible relationships. I think the biggest opportunities that I've had have never been my idea. It's been more in nature of me having the opportunity to meet someone who's smarter than me, who may be running a company, who might be an extraordinary woman and CEO and mother, and me learning from them, and then them going, "Hey, I've got a great idea. I want to introduce you to somebody. I think you would be great for this." I have lots of artists that call me and they're like, "Oh my God, can you connect me with Maybelline? Can you connect me with Gucci? Can you connect me with Bergdorf Goodman?" And I'm like, I can, babe, but like these are big corporations and they make plans 2 years out. Like, it's their idea. A lot of these things are their idea. That being said, and what I would hope is that the best part of my career hasn't happened yet, that the biggest opportunities are still ahead of me. I mean, my art is evolving. I am evolving. I'm a different person than I was a year ago when I opened up this business in New York. I mean, this is the greatest city, but she ain't easy. New York ain't always easy, honey. When they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. It ain't got nothing to do with fame or money. It's the swerve. But I think that artists live for opportunities, and as much as you want them all at once, again, the instant gratification thing. You just have to work hard every day, do the very best you can, celebrate the smallest little things that are, push you ahead. If something, goes to hell in a handbasket, let it go, move forward. It makes you smarter, and everything will happen when it should. There's an infinite amount of opportunity and money to be made out there. There's no cap.
Do you believe in luck?
I believe in hard work. I believe in being prepared for opportunity. I do think sometimes, kind of like if you drop a bait, if you're in a little boat out in the middle of the ocean and you have a really good bait and you drop it down in the water, there might not be any fish, but there could be. There could be the biggest fish you've ever caught in your life. There could be a whale down there. You don't know because you can't see. But if your reel is oiled and you got a good rod and you got a good bait, you got a damn good chance of catching that fish. And is that luck or is that being prepared? I mean,
What is the most misunderstood aspect of your personality or your work that, and you wish people saw you? Now, how do you that you think people might have?
this really drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It's when people think that every single painting that I make says or I would just like to say that 95% of my artwork has no expletives in it. And it just goes to show you how the standards of how I'm supposed to behave as a financially independent woman. I'm supposed to be sweet. I'm not supposed to curse. The fact that I like to say fuck throws people off in such a massive way that they assume everything that I do has expletives in it. It's hilarious actually. Because I've got to tell you, with the horrors in the world right now, the least important or interesting thing about me is that I like to use profanity as exclamation points about how I'm fucking feeling.
If your work could have whispered one secret to your viewer that they couldn't catch it at a first glance, what do you think would it be?
Um, I mean, I would hope, I would just hope that whether or not someone is in the market to buy it, or even if they don't love it enough to live with it, that they won't forget it. And I think that's why I love, like, in my gallery space, it's just maximalism. You know, you walk in there, people walk in off the street in New York and they're like, "Oh, I finally feel happy today. Oh my God." You know, and it, for me, one thing that I love about New York is, versus New Orleans, I mean, the international community that's here in New York City. I really wanted to be here for that. I wanted my work to be seen by people from other cultures and countries. And it's so awesome to see, these young kids from Korea come in and they're just like delighted. And, these beautiful Brazilian ladies who are shopping around SoHo and they come in and they're like, they just, they're so happy. So I would hope above all things that it would be unforgettable. And also, my story itself is, I'm a self-taught artist from Montgomery, Alabama. I didn't go to a big fancy art school. I didn't go to a business school. I'm just an ambitious girl, the dream of being financially independent, and I love to make art. So I hope that that would, inspire people to believe that they can go out there and do what they love.
Do you think that if you were, let's say you were born somewhere else outside the United States, would you be able to accomplish the same thing you would accomplish? Because in terms of being an independent, self-taught artist, is that even a possibility in certain parts of the, not all
Well,
parts of the world as we
it
know?
depends on
But
where I'm born, and you know that. I mean,
yeah,
as a woman, that depends on geography in a major way. Again, the thing that I celebrate, and the reason why I push myself so hard is that, and I've traveled enough around the world to know this. Being an American woman and having the opportunity to be financial independent is not something I would ever take lightly or waste, because I know good and goddamn well that there are a lot of women all over the country that would kill to have the opportunities that I have over here. And I'm not going to sit around scratching my ass and wasting my time. Time is my most precious commodity. And yeah, I mean, it's an honor. It's an honor to wake up and have the opportunities that I do here. And also, if I'm financially independent, then I can vote for who I want to vote for. I can donate money to who I want to donate to. And in the long run, hopefully, have some influence over this patriarchal fuckery that we're living in right
couldn't agree more. What's
now.
Listen, I'm a father of two little girls. I'm married to an amazing woman, and I think the world would be so much better if you all just take it all in, take
Well,
care of
we
the
need
world.
each other is the thing.
You know?
I
Yeah.
I you know, I need incredible men in my life that believe in me as a woman, and those men need me as a woman to believe in them. It's a connectivity. It isn't you're better than me and I'm better than you. It's like what we do together. And I mean, that's also what's so great about traveling, is that when you go to other countries, you realize we're all just the same, trying to live our lives, finding some joy, some peace with people we love, surrounding ourselves with, hopefully artfulness that inspires us, music, imagery that makes us feel alive. That life force pushes me very hard.
What's the best compliment you ever got?
That I inspired somebody to, like, be an artist, that I inspired somebody to believe in themselves, that they or to not hate their body, to start a business, for sure. I mean, I get very emotional a lot of times when I meet people that are, have a lot of gratitude for the hard work that I've done, and that celebrate me just being me. I want to celebrate people for being their authentic, true selves. And I think a lot of times the media is trying to push us to all look the same, to all be the same, to all, like to be little sheep. But most often, the weirdest thing about us might be our superpower. and we need to lean into that, you know?
If you had the chance to go back in time and visit a younger version of yourself, like say a 16, 17-year-old, Ashley, what would you tell her?
Oh my God. Let's see. God, I've got so many different answers racing through my brain right now. You know, I am a very anxious person. I have a lot of anxiety. I think maybe because I put a lot of pressure on myself. I think that's something I loved about creating art because I could see not only a thought that became a tangible item, but it became very God, euphoric to see my time. I didn't waste my day. So I think I would go back and tell myself that everything's going to be all right, that I have everything I need to achieve my dreams, and I probably would have snuck out of my house more and fucked more boys.
Go get laid.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was raised in the system. It's like, be a good girl, don't have sex until you're married, and you know, behave. So I wasn't really that wild until I got to be like 18 or 19. So
So now you mentioned earlier you have some exciting new projects coming up, a lot of going on, and you have accomplished so much in the last 30 years. But what are the things that but you also said that you're a very ambitious lady. And I want to know what are the things that you haven't had the chance to do, but you're looking forward to do the next 5 years?
well, I'm excited to produce some pop-up shows around the world. I love having art shows in other countries for lots of different reasons. I also like to see like the habits of people and how they buy art, and it's so funny the difference between like having a show in Switzerland and having a show in New York City and how people talk about money. So I really want to travel a lot more. I still haven't done like a big old fashion collab. I'd like to do a big old fashion collab. But I think more than anything, I just want to create more time for me to be creative. I mean, you know, there's 24 hours in a day, 8 hours to work, 8 hours for me, 8 hours for sleep. A lot of times I'm 16 hours, you know, eight running the company, eight making art, eight to sleep. Not last night. I'm exhausted right now, but yeah, that and also I love puppets. I'm writing a musical. I love animation. I have an animator that I work with, so I'd love to have a cartoon out there where everybody could see it. I love puppets so much. So I mean I don't know. I just want to be creative, man. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna put a request, and it was similar to what you said. I would love to see a play designed by you, with all the
Yeah,
set designed by you.
I've
I,
been working on I've been writing a musical for a couple of years. It's really fucking hard. um,
what it's about?
well, it's about think Wolf of Wall Street, but with women.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, nice. It is hard. Writing is a different animal for sure.
It really is. I mean, to take like the code of our feelings and like put it into, I mean, it's just code, right? Like words are just code to be able to describe that human experience in that way. God damn, it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Actually, before I let you go, there are three questions I ask everybody who comes to the show. It's for you to recommend us a few things. A book, something to read. It can be something that you read recently or one of your favorites. Something to watch, a play, a movie, a TV show, and a guest. Who should we invite to be on the show next?
Oh, okay. God. All right, a book. One of my favorite books to give people. I mean, other than my own books. Got to do a little plug here.
Of
You know,
course.
I've got my new book, Giving the Bird. You'll love it. And I also have two other beautiful Rizzoli coffee table books. But what I love to give people is a little book called Strange Things to Masturbate to. And it's a really great conversation piece. Okay, what was the second question?
Something to watch.
Something that I just watched that I thought was extraordinary was Blink Twice, which is Zoe Kravitz's new film that she directed and wrote. I thought the cinematography was beautiful. I thought her use of color was wonderful. I thought it was a great movie. I was just excited for her as a female director and writer. I love that. Also, anything RuPaul. I love drag queens so much. They're so extraordinary, and it takes so much work to do what they do. So anything with drag queens. And the last thing was what?
I guess.
A guest. I think you should have Mary Ellen Matthews,
Mm.
who's one of my good friends. You know who she is?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Mary. Actually, we're going out tonight. Of course, it's the 50th year of Saturday Night Live this year. She's been the lead photographer for 30 years. She actually has a book coming out in February that is just, I mean, the people that she has photographed, and talk about a soul wrangler. She takes these really famous people and she makes them relatable and funny and approachable through one picture. She's so wonderful and she needs to be celebrated. So you need to have her on.
We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it
Good.
work for sure.
Good.
Actually, I must tell you, once the staff here saw your name on the list of upcoming guests, half everybody lost their mind. They had no
They did?
idea. They were so excited. So they've been looking forward to this for quite some time. And I feel like in myself, I'm not very. I just what a thrill to get to know you. As I mentioned before, as the father of two women, two little girls, and marriage and a fantastic women, we want to celebrate, we want to empower, we want to
Exactly.
create any sort of visibility we can, so we can see how powerful they are and they can be, and there's no limits. And you embody that most better than most people. And I want to thank you so much for taking the
Oh,
time and
thank
sharing your
you.
story with us.
Thank you. It's an honor. And again, thank you for this opportunity. And I hope I was vulnerable enough and real enough. I hope I said fuck enough.
A couple more times and then we'll be okay.
Thank you so fucking much. I fucking love this podcast so fucking much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk soon. Thank you.